Details.
Hey!
Together again.
Together again, reunited, and it feels so
How
good.
good is it, man? I love it. Thank you so much for popping in.
No worries, man. Well, look, we hope everybody watching had a very, very Merry Christmas. We're here in the middle of Crimbo Limbo at the moment, so we don't even know what day it is. But we
Yes, chick at the bottle shop, you ruined that for me yesterday. You took me out of my state of bliss. You told me what day of the week it was. I wasn't happy.
My God. No, it's a beautiful time of year when it's not quite Christmas, it's not quite New Year. We're all loaded up on Christmas ham and chocolates and all sorts of good stuff and beer, and no one knows what day it is. We're just in this haze in between finishing work for the year and going back to the start of next year. Not sure when this is getting released, but that's when we're filming it anyway.
Yeah.
But we are back. Those of you who have been paying attention to our channel will have seen we had a wonderful interview with Massy from 1 Minute Silence, all about his new band, THEFTUOUS.
Yeah, man, they're very cool.
And look, they had such a good time. He had such a good time, he wanted to talk to us again.
That's so bad. That makes me so happy.
While Massy's over in Colorado,
About to record.
doing some studio stuff with the boys in the band, we're getting them back on today. Not as long of an interview this time, but we couldn't miss the opportunity to catch up with Massy
No,
again.
you don't say no.
We had a great time talking to him for the other video, as I'm sure you can see, and so we just wanted to get him back on and have a little bit of a follow-up and another little chat. So that's what we're jumping into today.
Shit, yeah, man.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So thank you very, very much for joining us today, gentlemen, taking some time out of your work in the studio, I believe. For chatting with us. So for those of you watching the video here, obviously we've got Massy again, and we are also joined by Marcus, the vocalist, and John, the bass player. This is from THEFTUOUS. This is the new project of Massy's that we were discussing in the other interview, which just went live not that long ago on the channel. And like again, as we were saying in the intro, you know, we had a great time chatting to Massy last time, and we wanted to, when the opportunity came up, to have another chat and to chat with some of the rest of the guys. We couldn't say no to that one. So how's the time in the studio been going?
Well, we're actually booked into the studio tomorrow. And we're in John's amazing house right now, and we're about to in all honesty, we're about to jam for the first time in the same room ever.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. Ever.
Nice.
The whole EP was written apart, you know, in sending files, like I said in the other interview. But this is the first time we've been in a room together. Instruments in front of us, amps about to be switched on.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is Pat. So
yeah,
you know, we've got some backing tracks from him. So
we miss you, Pat.
Shout out to Pat.
Together soon, my brother. Yeah, we have not seen each other since Tattoo the Earth, which was 23 years ago.
Wow.
God damn.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. But so I'm guessing you guys are really excited to finally be able to jam some of this stuff in the same space, right?
Yeah. Actually, we're going to rehearse a track that we're tracking tomorrow. That's not even on the EP. That's not even out fully yet. So we're going to rehearse tonight in this room, and then we're going to go in the studio to work.
Nice.
That's
how's
so
the
cool.
vibe going so far? Are we all just itching to get in there and get some work done?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And we're all here in Colorado, and we're going to a fine studio at my friend's house down in Parker, Colorado tomorrow. And we're going to lay down some vocals and some bass, and we're going to piece it all together.
And now we can swear at each other in person.
Yes, that's it.
The best
You're
part,
playing
right?
that part wrong.
All the shit Massy talked about is in the last interview. You can check him now.
Get your own back. So I mean, look. So can we just give us a little bit about Cannibal, and you know, because obviously that one would have been recorded or with everyone separate and sending that across. But how, you know, just a bit about how that song came together, and Marcus, if you could, some of the meaning with that song, with the lyrically and the themes that are at play there.
Absolutely, Massy. You want to start it off?
It's just about the lyrics.
Okay. Well, the lyrics, you got the title Cannibal, and most people might think that, you know, typical meaning. But basically what it means is like devouring yourself from the inside out. And like consuming yourself with, you know, things going on around you, you know? And lyrically, I went for the harshest, like most thought-provoking words I think I've ever put together in my life. And that says something because I've been writing since I was 19. And I think that is the most harsh and vicious song I've ever been a part of. And Massy came up with the music, and I instantly went to this place, and the title, I can't even remember how it popped in my head, but there it was. And it's just a gritty, vicious, beautiful song, you know, especially with the breakdown where it talks about, you know, being stoned in the public eye, you know, buried up to your neck, and you can't escape it. You just have to accept it. And that's, to me, is me being a cannibal on my, you know, to myself, and eating away all of that, and, you know, like a rebirth.
Oh,
I really like that. And look, it's a great song. I love putting it on. It's in heavy rotation,
Yeah.
in the playlists. And I'm showing it to everyone who'll listen up down here. You know, like we want to. That's part of our thing. Like if we get passionate about something, we non-stop like hound people until they get mad, right? To listen to shit. So we're definitely like we're pushing that. We're trying to show everyone that we can down here, and really try and hype that shit up because like we enjoy the track so much, and we're so excited for what more you guys are working on and what more you guys are bringing to the table, with, you know, this new EP that you guys are working on. And how's, obviously with being separate and sending the files back and forth and work, you know, with that sort of setup, I imagine that for most of you that's different to how you've done music in the past. Have you found it to be a bit easier doing it that way, more challenging compared to previous projects that you all have worked on?
For me, it was a little bit more challenging because I'm always used to being in the room with all the musicians involved. So we usually have to send, like, for me, I always have to ask Massey for like a playthrough where it's him literally holding a bass. And then, like, you know, obviously Massey wrote the song. And I'm like, well, what are you doing here? Can you show me? So we're just trading like playthrough videos back and forth.
Yep.
And then I'm like, give me the track with just bass and drums, you know, and you know, kill the guitars, kill the vocals. I want to hear everything stripped down raw and understand what's going on. And then we slowly build the song back and add everything into it. So I strip it down and learn the parts, add a little bit of what I do to it, and then just move on from there.
Yeah, sprinkling your flavor on there. I like that.
Do you find it sort of harder now going into this writing process? Obviously, like being a part of that more pre-internet and pre-file sharing days, having that, is it a much different writing process of having someone that energy to bounce off and stuff like that, rather than you sort of sit back and really, I guess, digest the track in a sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all come from the world where, you know, you're in a garage or a basement or the spot. You know, everyone had the spot. That's where you go to rip shit up
and to create. Yeah.
Yeah, and you would shed things. And there was I thought there was a concern just because I was hoping it would sound organic. Because we are in, I mean, Massey and Pat, you know, are in England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And me and John are in the States, but we don't even live close together. And the fact that it does sound organic is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Because it really does. The sound piece together, you know?
Yeah, and it's like Massey reached out to me. I don't know how long it's been. It's been like 2 years. And asked me to be involved. And I wanted to be involved, but it literally took me at least 6 months to almost 10 months probably to actually be involved. And when I heard Cannibal out of the 6 songs, that really got me motivated to play again, because I wasn't been playing the bass at the time. And the riff was so challenging. I had to force myself to get back on the horse, so to speak, and learn to play the bass and play something that was pretty brutally fucking hard to play. So I'm like, I picked that song.
That's the way, Massy.
I picked this song that this beast of a guitar player wrote, and I kept sending him like, "Am I there yet?" He's like, "You're close, but not quite there yet." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like my wrist hurts. But yeah, but when I finally got it, and it really inspired me to play more again, and I just want to thank you for that.
Oh man,
thank you. Yeah.
So John brought, basically, me and Marcus are always in awe of John, and we're fans, and we chase him around like, John was in Snot, John was in Snot. And so, he's thanking us, so it's like, yeah. But to just to elaborate on that question, like the weirdest thing for us is we have a finished product that sounds like that's an album that we, that we're proud of, and we've never played in the same room. That's completely upside down to what it used to be. Like the album is the last thing that would happen, and it feels like it's the first thing that's happened, and now we've got to learn how to play together. So that's mind blowing for me. It's confusing as well.
It is ass backwards. It's very ass backwards the way it's been done.
I wanted to go back just a sec there, John. So you said you kind of weren't really playing much at all for a while there. Is that just because you kind of weren't in anything, so you were like kind of let it go to the wayside a bit, or was there like something happening there behind that? So if you don't want to talk about it, that's also perfectly fine.
No, I'm perfectly fine. You go through life with struggles. You have to pay the bills and do things. And I've stepped away from my instrument many times in the last decade, and I find myself not playing for sometimes like 6 months, not even touching my bass, and it hurts inside, and after a while you need to pick it up and find that love and that passion again, and
remember who you are, right?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic, and I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? There's my bass, I haven't touched it, they bring me to tears at time, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why it's like, why am I doing this to myself? It's like torturing myself. And half the reason is because like I got nothing that's exciting or nothing that I want to pick up the bass for. And then when these guys reached out to me, and I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, and then I like, well, what do you got? And they give me some songs, and I'm like, that's cool, but when I heard Cannibal, I'm like, that's the one.
Yeah,
that's the track right there. I'm like, that shit's fucking vicious. I'm like, if I don't play that, I'm gonna fucking regret it, and I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass. So, thank you again. Like I said, just like,
well, I think that's beautiful, because that's obvious. Like, them reaching out to you has clearly inspired you to take that up again. And I can, I've been through similar like up and down, moving away from the instrument myself at times, and I can relate to that. Like, okay, you've got to step your game up to play the new thing. You've got to get better than, you sometimes have to get better than you felt you've ever been to play the new thing that you're stepping into. And that challenge is exciting and inspiring. And I'm so glad to hear that you've found that with these guys, because it's what
you're a weapon. You're a young bass player. We were talking about it before.
Yeah, downstairs we were chatting about it, like going back and listening to that old Snot stuff as well, and like the level that was of intensity that was brought in that playing there, and Cannibal, as you hear, like, it's a great track, and I'm glad that we're gonna get to see that kind of intensity again from someone that is clearly so passionate about their instrument and about music. From yourself and from everyone else in the band as well.
Pat, who's not here.
But, let me just add to that story. So there's 6 songs on the EP. We sent John, like, I sent him the one I thought he'd like the most, which he didn't like it as much, and then he got to Cannibal. So basically, John got to listen to 4 songs, and he added to the arrangements, and he was like, cut a few things off. Mm-hmm. And then we have these 2 other songs where the arrangements are just wild. It's like they're just left field songs. And Marcus and I were like, we kept going like, we don't want to send them to John in case he doesn't like them. Like, what if he doesn't like these songs? So we love these songs. We were like, we can't give, like, we were just so scared that John was going to like just go, nah. And it turned out that they're the two songs that he loved the most, like, you know, like beyond Cannibal, like these two. He was like, dude, why the fuck did you guys like hide these songs from me? Like, these songs are the songs, and it's crazy. Like,
these fucking masterpieces, and I'm like, they're like, well, I hope you don't want to change or anything. I'm like, fuck no, these are my favorite songs. Why did you hide these from me?
We were even going like, let's not send them to him.
No, even if it comes out negative, take the input. That's
look, you gotta take a big swing sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And
you know, we actually don't know each other because, like you said, we're not in rooms together creating. So, you know, you're just sending songs blindly through emails, hoping that the other person on the other side, you know, agrees with the music and the what was done, you know. So.
Well, I mean, the caliber of musician that you guys are in yourselves, and not just that, the professionalism that obviously comes along with it. When you sort of send that art, it's still a big thing. You know what I mean? You're sending a little piece of yourself that you've taken time to create to that someone. And yes, it would be disheartening if someone that you have so much respect for was like, I could take it or leave it. Like, you're like, I spent so much time on it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's hard to make the small adjustments together because it's a bigger adjustment when you've got to like rewrite something, re-record something. You know, I could play a half a riff and John could easily add to it, and all of a sudden it's a new riff. That's what we don't have. We don't have like the alchemy of a new thing becoming, you know,
just being able to bounce quick ideas. All of a sudden
there's a new thing.
Yeah.
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Just being able to bounce quick ideas off each other, as opposed to going, I have this whole section, or as opposed to just going, this part's cool. Can we build on this?
Yeah, and obviously, being a musician, you know, when you write a piece, kind of become like married to it, and then if somebody steps in and is like, well, why don't you try it this way? And then there's a lot of things about musicians where they're like, no, it's fucking this way or it's the highway. You know, it was great with Massy that he let me take a few songs and put a little input, you know, like a third ear to the band or whatever, so to speak. And like, well, what if we tried this? And he let that happen, and I think it blossomed into a lot of a whole other spectrum of ideas, which helped put the band be more an actual band as a unit. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well, I think there's so much of, you know, so many bands had to make the shift during the last few years to taking that approach to songwriting, whether they were, you know, on the opposite sides of the globe or even just a couple of towns away. No one was able to get together in the same room for so long. And the fact that we're now, you know, that the technology exists now for people to be able to work together in that way is really beneficial, and it's allowed collaborations such as THEFTUOUS and what that's, you know, becoming. And it's definitely, like we've said, you know, it's challenging for people that have done all their work prior, where they were able to be in the room and that organic growth of the piece. But as you've said, it's turned out really nicely. It doesn't sound like something that was pieced together. It sounds like something that was written together in a room where that natural progression and that bouncing of ideas was happening. So is there, you know, so this kind of new one that you guys said you're going to be looking at tracking down tomorrow, is that one that was, I mean, so obviously that would have been written in the same manner, I'm assuming. Is there any potential, like, you guys are going to try and write some new stuff today within the room together, see if you can come up with anything like that?
Yeah, I think so.
We got some beer and and we're going to take advantage of this time ultimately, you know, and real quick, like what you were touching on, the way we put this record together. I mean, there was times I would book vocal, you know, for my vocals in the studio, and Massy was 6 hours ahead of me. Mm-hmm. So I would try to book the time correctly. So I would literally do a vocal, but it couldn't wait for 6 hours because then it would, you know, he'd be ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I would actually make a video of the vocal, send it to him through Facebook Messenger, and say, "Hey, bro, am I on the right track?" And he would just be like, "Fuck," or he would tell me, nah, bro, I don't have goosebumps. You need to go back and do it. So he would push me, and now we're all pushing each other, and I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's amazing. And then Pat just comes to the plate and just crushes it. And this unit that we have is incredible, man. I mean, but yeah, I mean, the story is beautiful. It's great. It's unbelievable that we actually, the record sounds like it does, and it's amazing. It's honestly, it's the proudest. I'm so proud of it. Like, it's the best thing that I've ever been a part of, to be honest with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is so cool. I mean, and look, like we said last time we spoke to Massy, the revolution's coming. New metal's back, baby.
Yes.
New metal, we're like, and I think the timing's perfect. The people are perfect. The songs are really, really, really well. They're perfect. They're
the quality of stuff that's coming out nowadays, with that revival of new metal and that energy and that passion for just weird and wonderful combinations of sounds that everyone seems to be embracing these days. The accessibility of it, of bands to their fans and fans to the bands, through for all the negatives that digital streaming platforms have. That's the one advantage that I think that they bring. The amount of music that that people can discover nowadays from all across the world that they just would have had no idea existed, I think has inspired a lot of people again to embrace the oddballs of music and the weird and wonderful sides of it.
It's definitely a double-edged sword.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, without a doubt. I mean,
without it, we wouldn't have this great collaboration sitting in front of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just because you categorize this as new metal there, which you haven't deliberately, but the song that we're going into the studio tomorrow to do is basically almost like the Chili Peppers. Like, it's not new metal at all.
Okay.
And I did want to establish that, like, we will do any kind of music we want to do. Like,
that's one of the many things that I loved about what Massimo was creating was, even with back in It's Not, we were never, I honestly thought we were pigeonholed to any genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I love bands like Faith No More. Every song can go another direction.
Yes.
And not play one style music. So when I actually dug into what was being created with this band, it inspired me more to pick up the bass, because that's the kind of music that I really enjoy playing.
Just to clarify though, we never talk about new metal as a genre. I guess we talk about it as more as an era.
A time period.
Yeah.
But in saying that though, the whole point with new metal was that it was whatever.
It was no rules.
There was no rules to the music. It was whatever the band was feeling, and that's what made us all fall in love with it so much at the time.
Yeah. So to hear that THEFTUOUS is going to be bringing us such a range and versatility like that, that's exciting for me. Like, I'm a huge fan.
Totally.
I'm a huge fan of bands like you said, Faith No More, and even bands like Head PE, which, listening back as well, like Head PE, because I was just getting back on the Snot thing for a second. Like, I was had passed by Snot. I wasn't aware of them for a long time, and then someone was like, "Yo, this is like inspired all this other shit." So I went back and checked it out. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like I'm listening to this album and I can hear so many other bands that have come after that obviously were working with Snot back in the day as well, like so many bands that were coming up at the same time. And you can hear those elements woven through so much that's come since. And I'm like, the fact that sort of variety approach and that range of styles is going to be brought to the table with THEFTUOUS, like, I'm even more excited now. It's I love when a band's able to do that, and when a band is able to present in one album, you might have more like new metal or like hardcore focused stuff, and then you'll have something, as you said, more Chili Peppers, more like groove and kind of funky stuff there, and just when a band can bring a range and it's not just every song sounds the same, that's when you know that you've got a very talented group of people and a very special sort of combination working together.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's true.
A Chili Pepper style song. I can't wait. Can we get a sneak peek? Can we just I want to use a bit of the pool here. Can we get a sneak peek when you guys are recording it, please?
We also said like Marcus is going to do some acoustic versions of all the heavy songs.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Like,
That's awesome.
One band I love that used to do that was Stained. They used to do whole tours, and it just used to be Aaron and Mark just used to do full tours just with their acoustics, and it was just a great way to market your songs in other ways.
But I think that's a good mark as well of how to tell if a song is a good song. If the songwriting is sound, does it work with
when you
just a singer and an acoustic? If it works with a singer and an acoustic and with the full band sort of setup, the songwriting there is such a solid base and foundation that I feel like that's just such a key marker of good music. You know, Seven Dust is a great example of that.
A good representation of that is Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies.
Yes, as well.
They came out of the gate and they were just dirty. But then when that record came out, I was completely blown away by that because they showed that they could sit back and croon and really, you know, release some melody. I mean, the melody on their heavy stuff was ridiculous too, but when they really broke it down there and showed that they could do it all, you know, no matter what. And that's a...
Well, there was a whole like unplugged revolution thing. You had Nirvana do the unplugged thing on MTV. Then you had Alice in Chains do it. I've got Chris Cornell. How many of them?
But the fact that they did a record, it wasn't just the unplugged.
No,
you know, they had a record. They came out with a record like that, and that showed. I mean, it showed me as a fan, like, oh shit, you know, like unbelievable.
You can be deep without distortion. It can still be heavy.
Yeah, still be emotionally heavy and emotionally impactful. And very powerful music there. Well, look, we won't keep you guys too much longer. Just quickly, any special plans for New Year's?
No, we're kind of... well, Marcus, is it your first time in Colorado besides playing?
Yeah, my first time, like, you know,
basically the pressure's on John because it's his hometown. So.
Well, it's Colorado, right?
You got to watch out. I was going to say you got to watch out for them Colorado trees that play.
We've just arrived in John's house, and it's a fucking amazing house, and we don't want to leave his house now. The poster.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We got a cool.
Let him know.
We got a very cool story today.
Yeah.
So.
We were walking Manitou. We were walking Manitou Springs, which I have my retail store, Kill Your Culture, here. It's at the bottom of Pikes Peak here in Colorado Springs, and so my retail store's there. And we're walking downtown, and I'm like, hey, there's this store called Land of Oz, and they have rock and roll memorabilia. I said I've never been in there. Let's fucking go in the store. So go ahead. Yeah. So
Massy's better half, or you know, Lex. She's standing over in the wings. Come over and say hello.
They know me
there. Okay. Oh yeah.
Hi, Lex.
We're in a record store and we came in and there's so much to look at. I mean, you know, it's like you're a little kid again. It's just like wow. So we did the old horseshoe, and as we were walking to go out, Lex said, there's a Tattooed Earth poster. And we were like, what? And we look at it, and it's the whole lineup on it.
Yeah.
So it has 1 Minute Silence, Relative Ash, Amen. And all three of us from each of those bands are in the store.
Wow.
Oh, dude,
That's a sign, man.
But it was the actual poster of the Red Rocks in
the Red Rocks,
which is where we actually met.
I think Slayer was the headlining band on that tour.
No, Slipknot.
Slipknot, and Slayer too. Yeah. But it was 23 years ago. Like I said, that until I've seen these guys until today.
Yeah.
And then there we are walking in the store, and there is that poor fucking poster on the wall.
Yeah,
you believe that shit? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
then the guy wanted to sell it to us for $400.
You're like, we were there. You should just give it to us, man. Like,
you know what you should have done? You all should have signed it, and there you go. You can charge your next brick $800 now.
Yeah.
It's just a very surreal and happy.
And then bought it back. You know?
Yeah, it is in a record store of all places too. You know, it's pretty amazing, man.
Oh, the universe sends signs, man.
Yeah, that definitely feels like a sign from the universe that this is something that's meant to be. So, I'll whatever higher power you believe in, that's definitely a sign of some sort. Well, look, thank you very, very much, gentlemen. We very much appreciate your time this evening. We'll let you guys get back to it. Have a wonderful New Year's. Have a wonderful jam and time in the studio tomorrow. We are super excited. I believe Massy mentioned that there was something dropping in January, maybe.
5th of January, Mother Dripping Purple, our second song.
Yes, so you'll want to keep an eye out for that one coming out from THEFTUOUS on all platforms. 5th of January, we'll make sure this is out by then so that people can get a bit of a heads up on it.
Rad.
Nice one,
Yes,
man.
yes.
And we look forward to hopefully playing Sydney one day.
Oh, when you do, give us a yell.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure. And yeah, look, thank you so much again, gentlemen. Anytime that you want to come on and talk about stuff, more than welcome. Group
Thank you guys so much.
All right, take care, boys.
To
Have
the
a good
people
New
out
Year's.
there, we love you. Thank you.
Peace, guys.
Peace out, guys.
And seriously, cannot wait to see what the future brings for you lot, eh?
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Don't hang up.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right. All right, well, there you have it.
How good was that, man?
That's it.
I cannot believe it. A full year done, man. What a fucking year.
What a year.
What a way
What a
to end
year.
it.
I know we said this on the last video, the one that went up just the other day, and this is like same topics and stuff, but look, I mean, thank you to everyone who's watched us and supported us over this year and the past 18 months of doing this podcast. It has been what we managed to achieve in 2023 was thanks to you guys, and we are so grateful that we've had the opportunity to interview so many incredible bands from Australia and all across the world. It wouldn't have been possible without all of you guys. So
it wouldn't have been worth doing it unless you guys were watching. Otherwise, we're just sitting here talking to each other and not helping the community.
We could have these chats at the pub if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in over the course of this year. Thank you to my incredible co-host.
It's been a hell of an experience.
Kyle, aka Beer Buddy. It's been amazing. We want to give a big special shout out to Metal Ruse and the whole crew over there. Hopefully going to get more involved with that in 2024. And we'll see what else comes from that. And thank you to all of our guests for the year. Obviously, big thank you to Massy, Marcus, and John who joined us today. But everyone who's joined us over the course of this year, we could not be more appreciative and more grateful because, again, without you guys, it's just us talking shit and in a bedroom, and there's not really much interest that people seem to have in that. But look,
you guys keep watching. We'll keep making the videos and keep trying to up the game and just
Absolutely. We're already trying to line up a bunch of stuff for early next year, so keep an eye out for that. We will be taking probably the first week of the year off just to get everything kind of keyed up and queued up there, because it's been a very, very busy time for us getting everything done at the end of this year.
Hey, we get to enjoy Christmas too.
Yep, we do. Hope everyone has had a great Christmas and has a wonderful New Year, or has had a wonderful New Year if you're not watching it until after New Year's Eve. And look, I think that's about it from us.
That's it.
That's all from us for 2023. Signing off
until 2024.
So, thank you very, very much, everybody. Peace out.
Peace.
Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you all in 2024.